Did you know the human brain can generate about 50,000 thoughts per day, and a vast majority of these thoughts are creative in nature? A fascinating fact, isn't it? We're all born with an innate ability to create. From an early age, we use our imagination as a tool to understand and interpret the world around us. Creativity is not a mystical trait possessed by a select few, but a universal capacity that can be nurtured and developed. Creativity is the power to connect the seemingly unconnected. It's the ability to see the world in new ways, to find hidden patterns, to make connections between seemingly unrelated phenomena, and to generate solutions. It's a crucial ingredient in innovation, problem-solving, and invention. Without creativity, we wouldn't have the wheel, the light bulb, or the internet. It's the driving force behind every major breakthrough in every field, from science and technology to art and literature. It's what allows us to envision and shape a better future. But it's not just about grand inventions or revolutionary ideas. Creativity also plays a vital role in our daily lives. It's what allows us to think on our feet, to adapt to new situations, to overcome obstacles, and to see opportunities where others see problems. It's what makes life interesting, exciting, and fulfilling. Creativity is not a luxury, it's a necessity. In a rapidly changing world, the ability to think creatively is more important than ever. It's what sets us apart and helps us stand out. It's what allows us to thrive in a world of uncertainty and complexity. But creativity is like a muscle. It needs to be exercised regularly to stay strong. It requires practice, patience, and perseverance. It requires an open mind, a curious spirit, and a willingness to take risks. It requires us to step out of our comfort zones and embrace new ideas and perspectives. By nurturing our creativity, we can unlock our full potential and lead more fulfilling and meaningful lives. We can solve complex problems, come up with innovative ideas, and make a positive impact on the world. Harnessing this creative potential can transform not only your life, but the world around you. Creativity isn't limited to artists or inventors, it's a fundamental human trait. Let's dive deeper into understanding creativity, shall we? Creativity, at its core, is all about connecting the dots. It's the ability to perceive the world in new ways, to find hidden patterns, to make connections between seemingly unrelated phenomena, and to generate solutions. It's not about creating something out of nothing, but rather about seeing and connecting what's already there in unexpected ways. Now, you might have heard people say, "Oh, I'm not creative, I can't draw a straight line or write a poem." Well, here's the thing. Creativity isn't confined to artistic pursuits. It can be found everywhere, from the way you solve a problem at work, to how you organize your home, to how you plan a vacation. This brings us to a common myth, that creativity is an inborn talent, that you either have it or you don't. But that's far from the truth. Sure, some people may be naturally more inclined towards creative thinking, just like some people are more inclined towards analytical or logical thinking. But that doesn't mean the rest of us can't be creative. Creativity is not a fixed trait, it's a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed and honed with practice and the right techniques. So let's debunk another myth while we're at it. The myth of the lone creative genius. Creativity doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's often a collaborative process, fueled by interactions with other people, exposure to different ideas and experiences, and a willingness to take risks and make mistakes. In essence, creativity is less about having an extraordinary innate talent and more about having an open mind, an insatiable curiosity, a willingness to learn, and a knack for seeing connections where others see none. So, everyone has the capacity to be creative. It's about unlocking that potential. The first step to cultivating creativity is adopting the right mindset. Now, what does this mean? Well, it's about opening yourself up to new ideas, no matter how wild or unconventional they may seem. It's about embracing curiosity, that childlike wonder that makes us question, explore, and seek answers. It's about being flexible, allowing our thoughts to flow freely, to twist and turn, to merge and divide, creating a fertile ground for innovation to take root. Consider the story of Sir Isaac Newton. Legend has it that an apple falling from a tree sparked his curiosity, leading him to formulate the laws of gravity. His openness to observe the ordinary and ask why it happened the way it did paved the way for extraordinary scientific discovery. Or take the example of Thomas Edison, the man who brought light into our homes. He famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This statement embodies the essence of a creative mindset, one that is not afraid of failure but sees it as a stepping stone towards success. And then there's the story of the Post-it note. Its invention was a happy accident, a result of a failed attempt to create a super strong adhesive. But instead of discarding the weak adhesive, Spencer Silver saw potential in it, and with the help of his colleague Arthur Fry, they turned it into one of the most popular office supplies in the world. Each of these stories showcases the power of a creative mindset. Openness allows us to see possibilities where others see dead ends. Curiosity drives us to question the status quo and to seek new solutions. Flexibility enables us to adapt, to pivot when needed, and to see failures as opportunities for learning and growth. So, how do you cultivate a creative mindset? Start by being open to new ideas. Be curious about the world around you, and embrace flexibility in your thought process. Remember, creativity is not a talent reserved for the few, it's a mindset accessible to all of us. With the right mindset, you can turn the ordinary into extraordinary. Now that we've set our minds right, it's time to explore techniques to boost creativity. First, let's talk about brainstorming, a tried and true method to generate a flurry of ideas. It's like tossing a net into the sea of your mind, pulling up all kinds of thoughts and sorting through them to find the ones that sparkle. The key to effective brainstorming is to allow all ideas to flow freely, without judgment. Even the wildest, most outlandish ideas can often lead to the most innovative solutions. Next, we have mind mapping. Imagine your mind as a sprawling city, with ideas as buildings. Mind mapping is the process of creating a map of this city, linking related ideas together, much like streets connecting buildings. This technique allows you to visually organize your thoughts, making connections that might not be immediately apparent. Then we have free writing, an exercise of continuous non-stop writing for a set duration. It's like going on a road trip with your thoughts without a map or a destination. The goal is not to produce polished prose, but to let your thoughts run wild and express themselves freely. You'd be surprised at the creative gems you can discover in these uncharted territories of your mind. Another technique is the use of creative prompts. These are statements or questions designed to kickstart your imagination. They act as a spark, igniting the creative fire within you. You can find such prompts in books, online, or even create your own. Lastly, we have meditation. By calming your mind, you create a serene canvas upon which your creativity can freely paint. It's like clearing the clutter from a room to make space for new creative ideas. Each of these techniques can be tailored to your personal style and needs. You might find some more effective than others, and that's perfectly okay. The goal is not to master all techniques, but to find what works best for you. Remember, these techniques are not hard rules, but tools to unlock your creative potential. Let's not just talk about creativity, let's see it in action. Have you ever heard of Richard Terrere? He was a young boy living on the outskirts of Nairobi National Park in Kenya. His family, like many others, was constantly troubled by lions attacking their livestock. But at just 11 years old, Richard had an innovative idea. He noticed that lions were afraid of moving lights, so he rigged up a series of flashing LED torches around his family's livestock enclosure. His creative solution was a success. The lions stayed away, and lion lights are now used across Kenya. Next, let's talk about a young woman named Emily Piloton. She's the founder of Project H Design, an organization that uses the power of creativity and hands-on building to catalyze communities and public education. Emily and her team have designed and built everything from public park installations to micro-homes for the homeless, all with an emphasis on sustainable and human-centered design. And who could forget the story of William Kamkwamba? At 14 years old, this young man from Malawi built a windmill from scraps and spare parts to provide electricity for his family's home. His creativity not only solved a significant problem for his family but also brought him global recognition, and his story continues to inspire others to think outside the box. Creativity isn't just about painting a masterpiece or composing a symphony, it's about seeing the world differently, questioning the status quo, and coming up with innovative solutions to problems. It's about taking risks, embracing failure as a learning opportunity, and never giving up. Everyday people like Richard, Emily, and William show us that creativity is not exclusive to artists or inventors. It's a tool we all have at our disposal. We just need to be brave enough to use it. Creativity is more than just an innate talent. It's a skill that can be cultivated, a muscle that can be strengthened. And when we put that creativity into action, we can truly change the world. These stories prove that with creativity, the possibilities are endless. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get creative. Imagine your mind as a garden. The more you tend it, the more it grows. Now, how do we tend to our creative minds? With practical exercises, of course. Let's dive into the first exercise. We call it question storming. Set a timer for 5 minutes and write down as many questions as you can about a specific subject. Don't worry about finding answers, just focus on the questions. This exercise helps you to open your mind, explore different perspectives, and challenge assumptions. Next, there's the metaphor machine. Choose an everyday object like a teapot or a bicycle. Now try to draw parallels between that object and a problem you're trying to solve. For instance, how is your problem like a teapot? Maybe it's about managing pressure, or maybe it's about the right timing. This exercise encourages you to think outside the box and find unexpected connections. The third exercise is random word association. Write down a list of random words, then choose one and relate it to your project or problem. This can lead to novel ideas and solutions you might not have considered otherwise. Fourth, try mind mapping. Start with a central idea and draw branches to related topics, letting your mind freely associate and connect. This is a great way to visualize and organize your thoughts, sparking new ideas in the process. Finally, we have the reverse thinking exercise. Instead of thinking about how to achieve your goal, think about how you could prevent it. This might feel counterintuitive, but it can reveal hidden obstacles and prompt innovative solutions. These exercises are like tools in a toolbox. You don't need to use all of them all the time, but it's good to know they're there when you need them. Remember, creativity is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. So, don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Be patient, be persistent, and above all, enjoy the process. Practice makes perfect. So keep practicing these exercises to hone your creative skills. We all face creative blocks, but they are not insurmountable. This statement rings true for anyone who's ever tried to produce something original, whether it's a painting, a poem, a business strategy, or a scientific theory. So, what causes these dreaded creative blocks? It could be fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. These fears can paralyze us, creating a wall that blocks the free flow of ideas. Another common cause is perfectionism. We want our creation to be flawless, and this high standard can prevent us from even starting. Stress and burnout also play a significant role. When we're overwhelmed, our brains can't function at their creative best. Then there's the lack of inspiration, which can strike at any time, leaving us staring at a blank canvas or a blinking cursor, wondering where our muse has gone. Now that we've identified these common roadblocks, how do we overcome them? First and foremost, we should embrace our fears, recognize that they are part of the creative process, accept that failure is not a catastrophe, but a chance to learn and grow. Turn judgment into feedback and let it guide you towards improvement, not discourage you. When it comes to perfectionism, remember that done is better than perfect. You can always refine your work later, but you can't refine what doesn't exist. Start with small steps, and before you know it, you'll be leaping over that creative block. If stress and burnout are the culprits, it's time to take a break. Step away from your work, engage in activities that relax and rejuvenate you. When you come back, you'll be armed with a fresh perspective. Lastly, to combat the lack of inspiration, seek it actively. Read widely, explore nature, engage in conversations, question everything. Inspiration is all around us, waiting to be discovered. Remember, every obstacle is an opportunity for creativity. So the next time you hit a creative block, don't despair. Instead, see it as a challenge to be conquered, a problem to be solved creatively. Because that's what creativity is all about, isn't it? Turning obstacles into opportunities. Creativity doesn't thrive in isolation, it needs a nurturing environment. So let's dive into the world where creativity blossoms. A world, a culture that not just allows but encourages the freedom of thoughts and ideas. Just like a plant needs sunlight and water to grow, creativity needs an open-minded atmosphere. This doesn't mean just accepting every idea that comes along, but rather valuing and appreciating the process of ideation itself. It means fostering an environment where ideas are free to flow, where mistakes are not feared but seen as a stepping stone towards innovative solutions. Imagine a workplace where every suggestion isn't met with a but rather a "let's explore this." Picture a home where the children are encouraged to think out of the box, to question, to imagine. That's the kind of culture we're talking about. A culture that breeds creativity. But how do we cultivate such a culture? It begins with open dialogue and mutual respect. It thrives on diversity, on different perspectives coming together to challenge and inspire each other. It's about creating a safe space where people feel comfortable sharing their wildest ideas without the fear of judgment. It involves celebrating not just successes, but also the courage to try something new. This culture of creativity isn't limited to workplaces or educational institutions. It's equally important in our homes and personal lives. Encourage your family members to share their ideas, no matter how unconventional. Engage in creative activities together, be it painting, writing, or even cooking up a new recipe. Remember, creativity isn't about being the best. It's about exploring, experimenting, and enjoying the process. Nurturing this creative culture is no easy task. It requires patience, effort, and a shift in mindset. But the rewards are worth it. A creative culture is more than just a breeding ground for innovation. It's a culture of growth, resilience, and collaboration. It's a culture that values the journey as much as the destination. So here's your challenge. Look around you. What can you do to foster a more creative environment? Start small, but start now. Because creativity doesn't just happen, it's cultivated. And you have the power to cultivate a culture where creativity can flourish. Creativity is not just about now, it's about the future. A powerful statement that rings true as we delve into the fascinating realm of what lies ahead. As we journey forward, creativity takes center stage, proving itself as not just a skill, but a vital life force that shapes our world. The role of creativity in shaping the future cannot be understated. It's the driving force behind innovation, the spark that lights the flame of progress. Every groundbreaking invention, every revolutionary idea, every leap forward in science, technology, and culture has been born from the wellspring of creativity. But what does the future hold for creativity? Well, as we move into an increasingly digital and automated world, creativity is set to become a crucial skill in the workforce. While machines and algorithms can handle tasks based on rules and patterns, they lack the human touch, the ability to think outside the box, to question, to imagine, to create. In the future, it's the creative minds that will be highly sought after. Those who can bring fresh perspectives, who can solve problems in innovative ways, who can dream up ideas that push boundaries and challenge the status quo. From designing user-friendly software to creating sustainable solutions for our planet, from crafting compelling stories to developing new business strategies, creativity will be at the heart of it all. It's the key to navigating the complexities of our rapidly changing world and turning challenges into opportunities. But creativity isn't just about individual skills. It's also about creating a culture that values and nurtures creativity. A culture that encourages curiosity, embraces diversity, and fosters collaboration. A culture that provides the freedom to experiment, to take risks, and to learn from failures. And it's not just about the creative industries. Every sector, from education to healthcare, from business to government, will need creative thinkers to drive innovation and progress. So, as we stand on the cusp of this exciting future, let us remember the power of creativity. Let us continue to cultivate it, to value it, and to harness it, for the future belongs to the creative minds. Creativity is a journey, not a destination. It's a path that weaves and wends, filled with endless possibilities and unexpected turns. But remember, every step you take on this path is progress. Each technique we've shared today is a tool for your creative toolkit, a companion for your journey. Don't hesitate to apply these techniques in your daily lives. Whether you're brainstorming for a new project, seeking a fresh perspective, or simply looking to enrich your day-to-day experiences, these tools can open doors to innovative thinking and widen your creative horizons. Creativity, like any skill, grows with practice. It blossoms in an open mind, thrives in a curious heart. So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep creating. Each day is a blank canvas and you hold the brush. Start your creative journey today. Subscribe for more insights and techniques. Remember, the world needs your creativity. Let your creativity shine and let it reshape the world around you.